Good morning. Guess what it's doing? Raining. Yesterday was very productive. Did a nice big driveway job up in Hardwick. Had somebody cancel because we were taking too long to get there. So today I could have moved up a driveway, but the way the weather looked, I didn't think it was worth it. So Brian and I have been doing some just random stuff that needs to get done. For instance, this cover is smashed, so I ordered a new one, which is kind of hilarious because when I called the dealer to ask about a price on one, their original response was, "Oh, you can't just get the cover. You have to buy a whole jack." And I was like, "What?" And then she called back and said, "No, it's $10." So unfortunately that is bent. This is a product of somebody screwing up. So I'm gonna need a little screwdriver. So yeah, fix that. I sold my flatbed 25,000 pound trailer. Just consolidating some stuff going into winter. I have to do all the truck driving, so I might as well just use the tag trailer to do it. So sold that guy. Been working on securing last year's plow accounts, getting an idea of what we have to do this winter for plowing. I don't need 3 trucks, so thinking about consolidating Rams once more. Thinking about putting the 5500 dump up for sale and getting rid of that. Honestly, haven't really used it much this summer. Now that we got the tandem, I just use that for everything. So we changed the oil in that dump truck, the little one, in March, and I've put like 1,400 miles on it since. So it's handy, but not really 2,000 a month handy. So isn't it funny that it fits that way? Come on, man. So yeah, just thinking about tightening things up a little bit. Meanwhile, we are incredibly busy, and if the weather would cooperate a little bit better, it'd work out a little bit better for me. But we did a good job Monday, good job yesterday. Now it looks like the weather's going to be pretty decent after today, so we should be able to continue doing quite well. But I had 2 guys decide to hold off on doing their driveways till spring, so I moved them to spring. One guy canceled because we just weren't getting there fast enough, and he didn't really care that it had rained 20 inches in the last 2 months. So I told him to find somebody else. And what else? I guess that's pretty much it for super exciting stuff. But so yeah, today just doing some maintenance. I just had Brian clean the skid steer interior as it sits on the trailer, and I just greased the Harley rake and just greased all the speed binders, so that truck's ready to roll. Tomorrow we have a driveway up in Franklin to do. I don't really go out there much, so the local pit is like 6 miles away. I don't have an account, so I just got to bring a check with me to buy probably 3 or 4 loads of material for that. And then Friday is a driveway in St. Albans, and that's pretty close to our normal pits, so should be able to bang that out. Plus we're prepping for an asphalt basketball court right off of that driveway. So Friday will probably be a pretty full day for us. I want to get out of here right at 7, get up there at 8, start digging it out. So, but yeah, I used the gravel this weekend. Cut a bunch of trees up at the sugar house for myself. I don't videotape that because the insurance companies are pretty much douches about tree cutting, so we don't cut trees. So yeah, it's funny, the grapple has sat here for a month. One of the guys who was unloading it ripped a hose, so I had to get a new hose for it. Put that on, took it to the sugar house, ran it for 2 hours, blew another hose, fixed that, kept running it. Sunday, ran it for myself. It was leaking a bunch of oil. Brought it back here, cleaned it off, tightened up a couple fittings, so it's fine now. But honestly, I don't know how hoses don't get torn more on that thing. It is always stuck in the brush and limbs and stuff like that, but I love that thing. Between this and what I just ordered, will be here in probably 3 weeks. I pretty much have the ultimate machine, in my opinion, at a fraction of the cost of some other options, so I'm pretty stoked about that. What's happening? I've got the camera way up in the air looking down on me. Kind of dissolves my triple chin, so I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said earlier, rainy day today. I'm just doing my favorite stuff, which is paying bills and watching all the money that comes in go right back out. So that's pretty cool. Just figured I'd chat a little bit with you guys. Yesterday we did a really nice recycled asphalt job up in Hardwick. Customer had a really steep driveway. I'll put some pictures on this video. It was all washed out, and it was so steep that driving the skid steer up to the top where it crests for the parking area was so steep that it was like when you're climbing a trailer ramp with no attachment. I actually wheeled up and then came down on the landing for the parking area. So as you can imagine, a few years of neglect. There was a lot of ruts in it, but it was a nice straight shot, no overhead power lines, perfect for tailgating. I will tell you that when I was tailgating downhill, bringing the load up and dropping the tailgate, I could feel the front end get pretty weightless as I was going down the hill. So I'm definitely glad I didn't try to tailgate uphill. So yeah, I'll put some pictures there. We use recycled asphalt, like I said, and just night and day difference. And I put at least a foot of material down the center, so it crowned off really nicely. I rolled it 3 times, and then it was sunny and warm. So today's rain getting on it, and then tomorrow's sun, it's gonna harden right up. Customers should be very, very happy. So I don't know if I ever talked about camera equipment, but over the course of the last 6 months, I got away from GoPro and went strictly to DJI stuff. I really liked my drone, which is the Mini 3 Pro. That was pretty economical and works pretty well. I don't use it a ton. Seems like a lot of the jobs I do are in the city, too close to an airport, so it won't let me fly it. But sometimes in these rural areas, I'll try to take it out and record some footage for you guys. So I started with the Osmo Action 3 camera, and which is, I have one here. Yeah. So, which is that guy, which is really a blatant knockoff of GoPro. The size, function, features, pretty much all the same. What had me going over to the DJI was really the fact that the GoPros sometimes overheat, especially if you're trying to do like 4K 60 frames per second. They get really hot and shut down. If you run it on 4K 30, it's not too bad. But for some reason I was trying 60, mostly because close-ups on my face, it would really show how ugly I am in high definition. So that was something that the ladies really wanted, so I did that for a while. But I've kind of pulled back on that. I do 4K 30 frames per second now. I just bought the Osmo Action 4 that just came out, which is what we're recording on right now. And then I bought the microphone kit, just a single microphone wireless mic kit, after I got the Osmo 3, and I've been using that. I'm using it today. I like it. I can walk around the shop and still record and have good quality sound. Sam at TriStar Digging does a cool thing where he puts it out on his tripod or outside of his machine, wears the mic, and he can talk about what he's up to with the camera outside the cab. That's pretty cool. The only thing I wish they would do was allow the wireless mic to plug into the drone remote controller, because then you wouldn't have to record sound on a separate video and then take that detached audio and overlay it onto the drone footage. So you would think that since they're all DJI, they might want to make that happen sometime. So, but yeah, so like I said earlier, I sold the 25,000 pound Pintle trailer. Got 10 grand for it, which I thought was pretty good. Bought it for 12 a year and a half ago. It worked really well, but you know, since I'm the driver of the dump truck, might as well tow the tag trailer with that dump truck. So didn't really need to. I haven't driven that 5500 dump in a while, so I decided I'm going to sell it. I was kind of waiting to see what we had for plowing contracts coming in, but I didn't ever plan on putting 3 trucks on the road, so I'm probably just going to stick with 2 trucks. I've already shed all of our residential accounts and pretty much only have commercial accounts along the one main truck route from here out 15 miles. So that's pretty cool. I think that we're going to be a little more profitable this year with a little less traveling. I could probably do it with 1 truck, but all these businesses have to get opened up at the same time, so it's kind of hard to do it with 1 vehicle. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. Paul Polycaster spreader doesn't fit in the service truck body. I haven't tried blocking it up because basically the hopper is too wide and it doesn't shrink down quick enough to sit properly in the service body. So if I do buy a second spreader, because I've got enough salt accounts, I'm probably gonna have to do a steel caster. So I want to check out that and see what happens. But and they have the 2.5 yard Polycaster that was in the dump truck, and it will probably go on this 4500 flatbed. So, but yeah, so just been paying bills. Sent out another 8,500 in bills today. So I was just looking. So you guys saw that I had built that, I call it a fuel farm, but the 2 tanks and the 2 pumps out there, and started using a company around here called Fred's Energy. I had a semi-local company for a while, ABBA Fuels. They were okay. The pricing was pretty good, but last winter they sold to a bigger company, and after that, you know, the sales service just went to shit. They wouldn't come when I wanted them to come and bring fuel, and then they had always promised me they would bring me tanks, and that never happened. So I ended up buying a couple tanks of my own, switching to another local company right here in town who absolutely just bent me over every time. They were about $1 a gallon more than the guys who were coming from 15 miles away. So, you know, you start to talk to other guys who use them, and you find out that you're being charged like full retail, and the next guy is getting charged, you know, 50, 60, 80 cents a gallon less and uses less. It's like, no more doing business with those idiots. So we switched over to Fred's. Fred's is a big company, much bigger than the local company here. And I talked to them about the idea of getting 2 tanks, 2 500 gallon tanks, because the 275s were getting too small. And the next day they dropped me off 2 tanks that, you know, look brand new. They were freshly painted. The next day. And I said, you want me to fill out a credit app? They're like, no, we know where you are, you know, just net 30 terms. Like, okay. And I put my pumps in those 2. Like a week later, they came, filled both tanks, giant bill. And ever since then, they keep those tanks so full that if I fill this tandem right now and I drive away, I feel like the oil truck is sitting behind the storage units over here, peeking around the corner, waiting for that thing to get below full, because it's almost like the next day they've replenished what I put in, or what I put in the truck. So I'm very, very impressed with Fred's Energy. If you're in Vermont, I highly recommend giving those guys a chance. I'm going to switch my home oil and propane over to them. The last invoice I got for fuel was August 2nd. And off-road fuel right now is $3.40, and on-road, I feel like this is backwards. Anyway, they're about the same. One's $3.36 a gallon, one's $3.40 a gallon. So pretty decent prices. You know, as you can imagine, we go through a lot of fuel, but it's been averaging a couple thousand a month for fuel this summer, maybe a little bit more. Certainly use more on road than we do off, obviously. But so yeah, we're just kicking. Tomorrow we've got a good sized driveway, and then Friday we've got a good sized driveway plus a basketball court prep. So, and I got to go to the DMV because I've had that 4500 for like 2 months and still don't have it registered. I got a temporary tag on it, and I believe it's going to expire the next day or 2. The last appointment I had made, my mom died, and that screwed everything up, so I canceled that appointment. Now we're gonna go in, get it. I've got the check from the dealer for the sales tax and all that stuff. Thank heavens they cap sales tax on these trucks. Anything over 10,000 pounds GVW, they give it a flat tax, and thank God, because it would just be ridiculous. 6% on $94,000. You know, this year I think flat tax is like $2,075. So that's a good deal when it comes to being taxed. Yeah, so anyway, figured I would just chat for a minute. Appreciate you guys watching, and we will catch you probably this weekend. Oh, if anybody wants any of my GoPro stuff that I don't use anymore, if you're doing this type of work and you want to start your own YouTube channel, I'll ship you a GoPro if you want. You'll have to buy your own accessories, but save you a couple $100 if you want to get started. So just shoot me a text on my cell phone. If you go to our website, btoutdoorservices.com, you'll see the number. Just shoot me a text if you're interested in the camera. I think I've got a couple of GoPro 9s, and what else do I have? I might have some extra batteries. I at least have one battery per, and yeah, you could get started getting rich.